I saw him, you know, curled up, and I saw him. And I know when she left that hospital, he was not the same child. I saw it, so I can attest to that. Now tell us about those grandbabies.
Trace, which is Daryl Hines III. He's 5 years old. He plays the drums, the piano, he sings. You can Google it. And then, and then my grandbaby Chloe, she is just the cutest little ballerina. I call her my twin. You can Google her as well. And then my new grandbaby, his name is Brandon II, but we call him Jake. So
his name is Brandon. They call him
Jake. We always have nicknames. And Chloe is Sweetie and Sugar, and then Trace is Charlie. And nobody else can call him that but us.
Okay, so now let's talk about you, the pastor. Let's talk. Let's address some of the things that I know a lot of women that are in ministry face. How do you deal with the cattiness from other women?
Amen.
Sister Linda, do I fool with that? I don't play. I don't play when it comes. I just don't. And they don't. And women don't even do that. They don't play with me because they know I'm not going to even go there. I don't have time. There are too many people that want to be right.
Yes, ma'am. Come on.
I don't play when it comes down to God's people. The Bible says, "Do unto others as you have." So I'm gonna treat you like I want to be treated. You're not gonna take me to a foolish place.
Come on now.
And the Bible talks about silly women, and I'm just
That is powerful. So I have another question for you, and that would speak to, because you pastor over 7,000 members. I see a lot in a lot of ministries. I see where there are people that says, "Pastor, I'm pastor's favorite, and I'm pastor's favorite." And I mean, to the point where people will fight to be your favorite. How do you make them all feel equal?
the capacity of a mother. My children all think they belong. My grandchildren think they're belong. It's the love of a mother's heart. When one person is talking to you or you're in their presence, you give them that time. That's their time. And so you build people's love that way. You don't act distracted. When my children walk in the room, it's like everything shuts down. I get off the phone, "How you doing?" You mean something to me. So that's why all of the people that help me at the church, they feel like they're the one, and they are.
I feel like I'm the one.
And you are.
Amen. Okay, so my next question is, Pastor Pamela Hines has an amazing bestseller book, and it's called A Wife's Prayer. She brought some books for you all today, which will be outside of the Brief Sessions Live afterwards. Tell us a little bit about that book.
I believe it was around 2005. We were doing a lot of counseling at the church, and my mother-in-law said, "What you need to do is you need to pull all these married people together and pray for them." So we had a 5 a.m. prayer. Of course, so many wives came, and the CD evolved into a book. It was a 45-minute prayer, and it was incredible. So many marriages have been blessed.
That's right. I see a lot of amazing people being blessed from her ministry, from the book. So do you think that it is imperative that a wife has a prayer life? Because a lot of women don't have a prayer life. And if they don't have a prayer life, how do we, because people tell us, y'all know this is the truth. Back in the day when I went to church at Greater West Side Church of God in Christ, you was there. They laid us at the altar, and I think they had their knee in our back. We had purity class. We all walked around with chains. And you wasn't going to do nothing if it wasn't holy. And so it's changed. And it's hard when you're a working mother and you're a mom. It's hard to find the time to pray. Now, I know when we talk, even with what you talk about exercise, and you're like, girl, I'm exercising. When I'm just sitting around the house, I just do this and that's exercise. So how do I exercise my prayer life?
The thing about exercising your prayer life is you don't allow the enemy to make you think there's a certain posture.
That's good.
You don't have to be on your knees.
Come on now.
You can be combing your baby's hair, driving
Yes,
making
ma'am.
breakfast.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to pray anywhere, and if you don't know a whole lot of words to say, you can help me, Jesus.
Thank you, God.
Help me, Jesus. Just keep saying, help me, Jesus. He will help you. He will help you. I say that so much around my grandson Trace, because he's really big, and I still try to pick him up. Help me, Jesus. Help you do what, Nana? Help me pick you up, boy. So if you don't know what to say, just say, help me, Jesus. And he will help you.
Yes.
I mean, it'll get down in your belly and he will help you. So don't think you got to say, Lord, thus I say unto thee this day. You ain't going to never pray. Never. There are people, Jesus, he prayed while he was walking.
Come on now. Yes, he did.
Thank you, Lord. There are people that prayed up on the rooftop. Just don't, somebody prayed, and I can't remember who it was. They prayed in the sanctuary, bowed in half. And he was really praying. So don't allow the posture. Just pray. Sometimes I'm going into the conference room and I know I have to make an important decision. I don't have time to get on my knees and say, God, give me wisdom in the name of Jesus. And go on in the room and let him orchestrate. So that's one of the things you need to do as a wife. You need a prayer life, for sure. Pray whenever you can.
Yes.
Now you got pretty lucky, Mama. Now let's just be real. You got pretty lucky when it came to Bishop. His mama just came and got you. What about the single women in the audience tonight that's still waiting on Boaz? How should they pray?
Keep your shirt up and your dress down.
Well,
no, I'm serious. Because men, they're not really looking for all of that if they can see it. Really, they want something that's not on Facebook. Really. That's going to be in style sooner or later. When my grandkids get big, she ain't on Facebook. I'm marrying her. Because everything is so exposed. You just be a lady. And when you get your husband, he'll tell you how to dress.
Amen.
He'll tell you what color he likes and how he wants you to wear your hair. Just keep yourself. He'll find you. He'll be like Mother Hines, picking all over the ones that's trying to show everything. That's not where it is. So just stay humble, stay holy, love God, stay focused, and he'll be like, what is something about this woman? You remember Rachel? And point, that's right. How am I going to know that this is the one? Because she's going to be serving, running all over the place. She's going to be thinking about you. She's going to have water pots on her head, feeding the camels, cooking for you. That's how she's going to be. Working for the Father.
I think that when you are focused, when you are God focused, what I do know is that does draw the man of God to you. I know that's what happened with my boo. Amen.
I love you. You already. They know you're my son. They know.
We got
I
some.
appreciate how you love
Amen. So, Mom, depression. Depression is really big in the body. We're starting to see a lot of ministers, pastors, everybody committing suicide. But what bothers, a lot of us that are following people like that, because to find good examples is hard. What do you think it is that we are doing wrong as women, as people of God, that depression is getting us in such a way? Because I see people that I know pray very hard. They seem to have the religious life down, I guess. But then next thing you know, they're on the news, they committed suicide. So what's happening in the body, and how can we as women become so strong that the enemy don't allow us to want to die? Because the people of God nowadays, they just want to die. They're not finding anything holy.
My son DJ did a study on depression, and it means the absence of light. So there are certain areas that you can have that you're not fully given to God, and it will cause you to go into depression. And until we become more sensitive to one another, you know, sometimes people come to church and they're broken, they're bruised, and they feel like they're not wanted. They feel rejected, but we're not sensitive enough to put our arms around somebody and say, "You okay? Are you doing all right?" We have to literally get back to that. I can't tell you how important it is for me and my husband to stand down on that altar on Tuesday nights, because when I hug people, it's just something about the sensitivity, and you can pray for somebody. So once we, start being more sensitive, I believe that spirit of depression will be broken, and also I believe that it comes to a lot of medications.
Wow.
Wow.
I just believe that we're just a medicated, walking, dead nation. Really. So I believe that our food and the lack of love.
Wow. Wow. Are you guys enjoying this? Amen. So I want to ask you last, this is going to be my last question, and then I'm going to open the floor up for you all to ask her some questions, because I know you have a lot of questions you want to ask her. How do we make love last? Because you have 36 years in grade. I'm on 15. I'm trying to get to where you are.
It's called Victoria's Secret.
Well, they don't teach, y'all ladies, they try to tell us we need to, you was pretty when you got them. Why you wearing them rollers now? Why?
When you get married, that's the time to reveal.
Come on now.
Because that's how you keep your husband focused and you keep him happy.
Beautiful.
He don't want to see you in a boo-boo dress and fluffy house shoes and your hair tied up. Once we tie that big old bow to go to bed, he knows it's over. Sometimes you gotta leave the guy.
Y'all better hear this. This is the word of the Lord for the woman.
For real. Like for real.
Don't away them moo-moos.
The Bible tells you to defraud not one another. You can break away for a time of fasting, but you have to come back together again, because the enemy will try to slip that third. No, because you gonna have the fire and the flame, and the sheep smelling good and all that good stuff. That's gonna keep love. It's not made in heaven. You make that here. You get good to make marriage. It ain't made in heaven. That's a problem. Marriage is a very natural thing.
Oh my God.
It's a very natural thing that mimics the Spirit of God. Jesus is the groom and we are the bride.